Welcome to the Rush Hour, your daily dose of pop culture for your rush hour ride. Buckle up and enjoy the drive with your host, stand-up comedian Dave Neal.
Good morning, everybody, on this Tuesday, September 30th, 2025. I got all your stories for your rush hour ride to work, and it is a big one today. I'll be sharing the conspiracy theory that Candace Owens has been promoting on her YouTube channel. That's on the back half of this episode regarding Charlie Kirk's alleged shooter. She claims that his family says, you got the wrong guy. So I'll share that back half of this episode. Keith Urban does Splitsville, leaves his longtime partner, Nicole Kidman. We'll have that. And I'll give an update on a story I did yesterday. I was called out for sharing an AI image. Turns out it was real. I'll cover that. But the big story here is Baldoni versus Blake Lively. You know, we've had a couple quiet weeks in this pre-trial, kind of getting very redundant. But now Blake Lively coming in hot. She's going to ask the judge, throw this whole thing out. I got that. Plus, Baldoni was caught at LAX by TMZ. And I'll share with you guys what Baldoni had to say. So lots to get into. All these stories and more starts right now on The Rush. And let's dive into the first bombshell story. Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban separated. TMZ has learned. Multiple sources says the couple has been living apart since the beginning of the summer. Nicole was taking care of their two children, holding the family together through the difficult time since Keith has been gone. As for why, we're told it's one-sided. Nicole did not want the separation and has been trying to save the marriage. Keith has acquired his own residence in Nashville and has moved out of their family home, which is also in Nashville. Well, I'm in Nashville now. Can I get the inside scoop? Can I house sit? Can I be your pool boy? What do you need from me? It's really a sad story whenever a couple breaks up, but I think them having a hell of a lot of money makes it a little bit better, right? It has to make it better to have money. There's nothing worse than a broke divorce, right? Either way, updates as they come. One of my favorite songs of all time. What's that song? Got No Money in My Pocket, I Got a Hole in My Jeans. I don't know. I don't even know the title of that song, but you got to listen to it. It's for any broke people out there pursuing your dreams. That's the song you need to listen to. All right. I made this video yesterday. Our good pal Danielle, our social media diva Danielle, clipped this together, sharing the image we shared here. And then I was immediately called out by several people for the image being AI generated. Do you enjoy posting Photoshopped pictures? Alert, fake edited photo, newsman. Now what? And of course, I looked into it. I said, oh, shoot. Did I post an AI photo? I thought it was real. It came from sources. And then we went all the way back to 2019 and the photo's real. It is a real photo. I guess because of the contrast levels, people thought maybe it was added on or whatever. But no, the photo is real. It's been online, time-stamped, hasn't been touched. It's a real photo. We didn't share fake news, at least not this time. If we did, I'm always happy to admit it. No ego here. But it's the story of the shooter, of course, from the sad story of what happened at the Mormon church over the weekend. All right, so let's move it on from there. We got Baldoni. This is what he had to say. I'm going to share what he had to say with regards to TMZ kind of tracking him down. I was at the airport over the weekend. I didn't run into Baldoni. Wouldn't that have been nice? I mean, it'd be nice to see Baldoni while, I was on vacation in Aruba. But I tell you what, the last thing you want is to have to be shirtless next to a shirtless Justin Baldoni, right? I mean, I would literally spit out the, breadsticks I'd be eating, No more carbs for me this trip. You wouldn't want that. Justin Baldoni, what I'm trying to say is you're a dad. Do the dad bod. Give us a chance, Don't be all looking ripped with abs. You should never trust a man with abs. Although I have to say, Baldoni might be one of the rare ones who has abs and is also a good guy. Anyway, here's what TMZ had to say.
Holding up, man. How you doing?
And also, I should say, pardon all of the noises. These airport videos have terrible sound, but just deal with it.
Actually, doing wonderful. Yeah, very great. Thank you. You're doing wonderful?
Got a lot of love, man. Got a lot of love.
You holding up okay, man?
If you couldn't say, he said he's doing wonderful, lot of love, very grateful.
Yeah, you seem to be taking the high road, man.
Thank you. We appreciate it, man. Thank you. Well, we always try to do this, man.
All right.
Always try to do it.
Listen,
man. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Last question. Let me ask you this. The judge dismissed your countersuit. What's next for you?
We're not allowed to discuss that right now, man. We can't discuss that for you. You all right?
I'm good.
Thank you, man. We're gonna cut off this call. Can't talk about it, but hey.
But listen, but you're okay though, taking the high road here. Positive.
Very positive.
Very positive.
Can't talk
All right.
about stuff like that. You know
All right. I'm just doing my job.
So we have the good cop, bad cop. Baldoni's friend or publicist, I don't know who it is, says we can't talk about that stuff here. But Baldoni, he shakes TMZ's hand, which, by the way, use some Purell after that. Who knows where these TMZ guys are at? You know what I mean? They're all over the place. And either way, Baldoni, he takes the high road and he says, I can't talk about that. It's always funny when they get these interviews at the airport because it's like, what are you going to do? You're waiting for your bags. I've been at the airport at LAX before waiting for my bags, and I've had TMZ or, random paparazzi come up to me, not because they thought I was anybody. They were like, are you Dak Shepard's broke younger brother? I said younger, maybe older. I don't know. I'm Timothy Chalamet's uncle. You know what I mean? Whatever. Either way, I've had them come up to me. They kind of just wait around for celebrities to show up. It's LAX. People show up all the time, right? Either way, especially if it's like a New York to LA trip, you understand. Either way, they're, good to see you in good spirits. What else do you want? And we did have an update. I try to read people's comments here and there when I can. I covered everything that Baldoni was asking for in the latest court document. And again, I'm not going to get it all right. I tried my best, but sometimes I record these things at 1 a.m. I'm a dad. I'm tired. But someone said they're not asking to get rid of everything. Justin wants to take some things to trial. This being, Justin's side wants to limit the scope about what will be on trial. He wants to get rid of some of the claims. I shouldn't say the claims that Blake has made, but, it's complicated, right? She filed things in California. They want the trial in New York, obviously. Then you got, people in Texas trying to get the trial there. It's a whole bunch of things all over the place, especially the harassment allegations. Let's hope this judge does the right thing and fair thing for Wayfair. So Baldoni wants it to go to trial. He just wants, just like everyone would want in the pretrial phase, wants it to be, fair and the things that are irrelevant left out and the things that are pertinent left in. I mean, I think that's a fair way to put it, right? Well, other updates here is Blake Lively has responded. Defendant Blake Lively's reply in support of motion for attorney's fees, treble damages, and punitive damages under California Civil Code. So I'm going to paraphrase this for you because we try to keep the rush hour on the shorter side, the podcast that gets you to work. But I'm going to do a version where I read the full 15-page document. So make sure you're subscribed to my YouTube channel. You might say, Dave, I watch you every day. That doesn't mean you're subscribed. I'm going to be making a video just for the people that are subscribed. Double check. YouTube sometimes gets glitchy. They unsubscribe. So hit the subscribe button. And it's going to be for YouTube only, not for the podcast audio, just on YouTube, where I'm going to share the entire 15-page document. I'll read it for you. I'm going to do it right after this. So stick around for that. But here's the summarization. The filing is Blake Lively's reply brief supporting her motion for attorney's fees, treble damages, and punitive damages under California Civil Code 47.1 after the court dismissed Wayfair Studios' defamation lawsuit against her. Lively argues that Wayfair's claims were retaliatory and baseless, brought in New York under California law, and that Section 47.1 was specifically designed to deter such harassment by allowing early remedies for defendants who prevail. She contends the Wayfair parties cannot now reject California law after using it. Their extraterritoriality objection is meritless given their own California ties. In constitutional defenses like Nora Pennington or California's litigation privilege do not apply because 47.1 carves out an exception for harassment-related retaliation. Lively maintains that no jury trial is needed to confirm she prevailed and that the court has authority to award actual treble and punitive damages promptly, emphasizing that delay would undermine the statute's purpose of protecting complainants from protracted litigation abuse. So essentially what this is this is that new Me Too law, which really hasn't been tested in California, but essentially, the law would make it so that Blake Lively is able to make these claims about Baldoni, and he's not allowed to retaliate. He's not allowed to respond. I mean, that's what the law is. The law is meant to protect women or any victims from retaliation in the workplace if they say, I don't know, accuse their boss of something nefarious so they wouldn't get, sued into oblivion. The law has, like most laws do, good intentions, but what if Blake Lively made the whole thing up and then Baldoni just has to sit on his hands, So you can understand how frustrating this would be if it doesn't go to trial and Baldoni's just forced to pay her all these damages. I mean, how much could he have to pay her, right? They'll calculate the attorney's fees, but treble damages and punitive damages. Punitive damages. I mean, she's a celebrity. What if they rule that it was $10 million in damages? Baldoni just has to foot the bill to that. I mean, I know he's doing great with his Baha'i faith, but I think that would test anybody's faith. And speaking of faith, before we get to the Candace Owens story, speaking of faith, I got a response from somebody. A lot of angry responses lately. I just got back from vacation, guys. Chill out. And this was in response to my Rapture update. You know, they changed the date of the Rapture. It's going to be the 23rd of September. I told people they should all go on a diet. That way you could float to the skies faster. And people got mad at me. They thought I was, making fun of their beliefs and blasphemy. And, I'm not committing blasphemy. But here's a response I got. Dave, I come in peace and love. You're not to predict the rapture. Only Jesus knows when that is, but the rapture is real and will happen. If you haven't even read a Bible, then please do your homework before speaking on Christian things. Don't offend the viewers. I've always liked and respected you because I thought you were fair across the board with politics and someone's faith. And then you say this today. Sorry, but I'm out. Good luck to you and your family. Now listen. I'm not anti-Christian. I'm all about love. I talk about Jesus Christ and his actual teachings, not what some of these churches want you to believe, right? His actual teachings about loving your neighbor, more than you love yourself, right? Isn't that the idea the idea for harmony and peace? So this idea of a rapture, the modern invention of the rapture, came about 1800 years after Christ existed. The idea of a secret rapture before a period of tribulation only showed up in the 1800s, popularized by preacher John Nelson Darby, a founder of the Plymouth Brethren movement. He read certain passages as predicting two separate comings of Christ, one secret to take believers away, and one later in glory. And it's based on biblical language. The specific doctrine of the rapture, people disappearing before chaos hits, is a modern theological invention, not an ancient Christian belief. So you do the research. You read the Bible. The rapture just doesn't exist. I mean, I hate to rain on people's rapture parade here, but it's not real. Santa Claus is more real than the rapture. Now, if you wanted to rapture me up to the North Pole to make some toys for people, then we're having a party. But anyhow, it's not, folks get so defensive with their religion. It's like this, it's like everyone can have a rational conversation about so many different things. But if you even mention someone's religion or call out maybe a Bible verse that was misconstrued, I just hate it when people say, read the Bible. The Bible has been translated and manipulated by powerful men across different centuries. This is just the facts. The Bible essentially was a library of different books, essays, papers that were all kind of put together. Things were left out. Then all of a sudden the Mormons are like, hey, we actually found, an angel came down and we found the book. We had a new book for the Bible that the other religions don't have. This is the real one. Folks, it's a way that's used to manipulate you. You want to be religious, you want to, preach positivity, the power of love, just do it by your actions. Don't worry about what was said or written down. Follow the core commandments of love. Just love. Now, come back to the channel and don't unsubscribe. Okay. Anyhow, let's take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to have the Candace Owens sort of conspiracy, which, again, until any actual evidence comes out, I feel perfectly safe in sharing it because we've been lied to, as we all know, in multiple ways. We're living in a time of the Epstein conspiracy, that's a fact. That exists, right? So we already know they're pissing on our leg and telling us it's raining. I'm saying let's just get out our umbrellas and try to figure this all out. That story coming next.